Hello and welcome to Allotmentjoy. It's been a good while since I posted my last video footage, and basically I've come down to the allotment today because I've got some spare time, because I've had an awful lot of work to do recently. I just haven't had the time to come down. And of course I'm going to start paying the penalty for it in A, in weeds, and B, in get sore later on, but never mind, I'll try not to overdo it. So here I am at the allotments, and I've brought some more seeds from the Kitchen Garden magazine and other magazines. I've got I'm going to have to do a stock check of all the seeds that I've got presently, plus all this that has to be filed off. Yeah, got lupins, Ailsa Craig, Darkma. I've already got those planted in the garden already. Mizuna leaves, solid leaves. I'm not really having much joy with that. Fennel, well, I'm not a great fan of fennel, but I think I'll be passing that to someone else. Cabbages, yep. And as you see, I've got quite an array of stuff. I really have to get through it and see what I've got. See what I haven't got and what I need to order. So anyway, so I'm back at the allotment. This is the newest allotment this year. It looked a lot better earlier on, but now it's autumn, it just doesn't look very nice. So I've got a tremendous amount of work to do. I've got the 2 sets of raspberries that we inherited, and half of it was looking a little bit sorry and old for itself, so that's going to get moved, and the raspberries here, they're going to sleep. I'm going to be moving them to the left hand side, and in the corner here I'm going to put a brand new polytunnel. That's the polytunnel in the background. That's our other allotment. Anyway, so I've got that planted up with cabbages and cauliflowers, and also trying to fend off caterpillars and anything else that's nibbling my stuff. Max. Okay, so what I've got here is some broad beans I sowed earlier on. So they've come up nicely. So I've got more broad beans to sow, but just haven't had the time. So I'll put these in anyway. Not quite sure what these are. I'll have to remind myself. What is it? Winter King. Yeah, Savoy Winter King, and something else. Can't remember. Max. So as you see, I've got lots of weeds. I really have to get in amongst this lot, and this area here, I'll just pull back a bit. This whole area here, as I say, is going to get dedicated to the brand new polytunnel when I get round to ordering it. So anyway, tucked in some plants, irises for instance. So I've got that they're all tucked in, so they should have a good show off them next year. And over there, I'll just point over there, I'm not going across there at the moment. Across there I've got tromboncino. So all the leaves are died back. I just left the tromboncino, but really speaking, I won't be using them. So I know someone who's got chickens, and give them a few chickens. So I've got winter sprouting broccoli here as well. They're looking good, so I'm going to have to get them covered over if I'm going to keep them. And then the sturgeon here, I've done quite well. They've actually fended off a lot of the caterpillars off the winter purple sprouting broccoli. They haven't suffered at all because of the nasturtium. And I'm going to have to get the dahlias out before it gets too frosty, so that's on my to-do list. If I don't get it done today, I'll get it done in the next few days. And what have I got here? Also late planting. Gosh, if you can see it amongst all the the weeds, I've got what do you call it now? Chard, rainbow chard. I should have started them earlier. I got the normal chard. I planted that, and then I thought, hang on a minute. Let's see now. Put it back a bit. That's better. I've got normal chard. They're coming up, but I should have planted a rainbow because it looks prettier. Got to cut down the asparagus as well. Tidy that lot up and get all the weeds out. Looked nicer earlier on this summer, but if you don't spend the time in the garden, that's what you get for it. So I've got lots of garlic coming up. Any free space, I've put garlic in. So fingers crossed we get a good result. Right. There's 2 large gooseberries that I transplanted. So get 4 gooseberries, you see. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, just to get them all together instead of having dotted around the garden. These are doing all right. They're a bit on the slow side. Yeah, let's avoid cabbages. They're doing all right. And of course the chickweed is grown merrily away to itself, which is, if you wonder what chickweed is, that's chickweed. So if you got budgies and canaries and every birds, you get yourself some chickweed. They'll appreciate it. Yeah, so this is your berry, was it, I think the blackcurrant or whatever that we inherited. It's in a bit of an odd place, so I'm gonna leave it be at the moment, but I think I will transplant it before we kick off the new season. The rhubarb that we inherited, have been looking after. Also again, tuck them in. Don't cover the crowns, I was told, so I haven't. So anyway, it gives them a feed. They've responded quite well actually. So it was a little one that actually didn't have very many leaves at all. So it's putting an appearance in. If it survives the winter, which I hope it does, well, very good, and it was worth it. This patch here, again covered in weeds, but it only takes me a few, 10 minutes or so to get that sorted out. And there's all the raspberries that we inherited as well. We got too many raspberries, because we've got raspberries there, and I've got, raspberries here. Sorry for swinging you around like this. And also in the raspberry cage over there as well. And they're still producing raspberries as we speak. So yeah, so I have to get in and get them picked. So strawberries are doing fine. The cold frame there has actually got parsnips in, so they're under cover, whereas I have parsnips out in the garden, and I think the out in the garden they seem to like it better in the cold. So yeah, here's what is it? A type of thornless blackcurrant. I can't remember the name of it, but anyway, that has to be cut back. In fact, yeah, it's a blackberry. Yeah. There, look like that. So down to the the allotment that we took on at the beginning of this year, and I put in some artichokes. They're only plugs, it came through the letterbox, but my have they not grown, but they are very brittle plants. So if you are thinking about planting artichokes, my recommendation is that you've got to give them a home where you're not going to go anywhere near them, because you just brush up against them and then you break off, as you say. Yeah, you land up breaking them. It's a shame. You just hear this slight snap, and apparently you're supposed to, if you're going to eat artichokes, that you cut them around the size of it, when they're the size of a golf ball, so they're slightly larger. But yeah, what I like about these is the flower, and the bees like the flowers as well. So yeah, it's a win-win situation. I like the look of it, and I'm not eating it at this moment in time, so it's too late to eat it. So if the bees like it, I've got nothing against that. So anyway, to this plot here, I did have onions in. It's redundant at the moment. It shouldn't be, because it should be getting something in and growing over winter, so I will eventually find time for it. Yeah, winter Savoy cabbages I've got going, so we're going to have more cabbages and scent. Yeah, I love my chrysanthemums. Yeah, I love the smell of chrysanthemums. And I've got the interesting one was this. Well, I should have grown them a lot better. I should have grown them with one stem, and looked after them a lot more than I did, and trained them properly and given them the right conditions, etc. And then concentrate on one head. But I didn't get around to it, so I just let them be and just let them go to their own devices. But chrysanthemums, like I was talking to my other half earlier on, chrysanthemums, you can buy chrysanthemums that you put outside your front door for the autumn. There's a blast of colour, but you can overwinter them. They overwinter in the garden, so they will come back next year as well. So don't throw them away. If you've got one outside your door and it's finished flowering, don't throw it away, because you just put it in the garden, or just put it, in a place where it's out of the way, and just keep it well, not wrapped up, but look after it so it doesn't get hit with the frost too much. And it'll come back next year, and in the autumn next year you'll have chrysanthemums again. So this is a chrysanthemum stem, and it actually broke into 2 colours, which is really nice. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and take some cuttings. I don't know how to do it. I'm not the expert in it, so I'm going to read up on it and how to do it. But it's really nice. Yeah, really nice. And so there was another channel called I'll come back to that, I'll remember in a minute. Anyway, so I've got this all planted out, got a few weeds come through I've got through this the gaps anyway, so I've got to take the weeds out. Well, in fact, I've got carrots coming up as well. Anyway, so yeah, I've got Savoy cabbage, I think red cabbage, doesn't look like it, but never mind. I've got cauliflower, and I've got Brussels sprouts as well in, so just keeping the place going anyway. So here I've got parsnips. I think it was way too late. Other gardeners start them earlier and stuff. I'm learning as I go along. So, but since then, anyway, they look very happy together with the carrots. So the beetroot I've got to look at to see how they're doing, because eventually they'll get hit by the winter and by frost and stuff, and then they'll be gone. So now roasted beetroot, really nice with garlic. Here are the cabbages that I had not the foggiest what they were. I planted them, I grew them, and I forgot who they were. I must get better organised than I am. Anyway, so, but what a very nice head there. So it won't be long, I'll be bringing that out and then getting that prepped up. So I've got a few heads. So I'll say I don't know what the variety is, but it as long as it's produced a result, I'm not bothered. What I also have here is spinach. I think it's called perpetual spinach. So the leaves are huge. I should have cut them down a bit. So I'm going to take a few leaves off that haven't been chopped and get them frozen. Cauliflower, I think. Not quite sure. Again, I'll have to have a look at the tags. So this lot's busy as well. Right, so coming around this way. Yeah, it was green side up. I think he said green side up. He said that it's good to plant dwarf French beans. So off I went and ordered dwarf French beans and got them planted, and I've got dwarf French beans. So I've got loads to pick. One word about that though is just keep an eye on them to see when they're ready, because the field mice also keep an eye on them to see whether they're ready or not. So otherwise they just take them, eat them, and that's it. So I've got the whole, all the let's see now. That's closer. Is that further away? No, it's closer. Right. Yeah, we had a whole row of rhubarb, which is now gone to sleep. So again, I took that lot in, give it a feed, just looking after it. Again, you're not supposed to, supposedly, cover the crown. So the crowns are so proud anyway, so effectively they could be split. So I'll think about that anyway. Yeah, I had a bit of fun. I planted some kale. Again, I'm not quite sure when you're supposed to plant it, but I planted it, and I've got a row of red and green. So eventually when they do get big, which I hope they do, it would look not only functional but also aesthetically fun. Why not have a red and green stripe in your garden? So these are winter peas. Winter peas. They're doing all right. I've got more to plant, but yeah, they're doing all right. I've actually got winter peas here. I'll show you. Look. So again, I've got to dedicate some time to have a look through that to see what to be picked. I'm sure the dwarf French beans are now getting past their best, so I'll have a look to see what's to be brought out, and then that's they're finished. The frost hits them anyway, so you know, get it out what you can, and then knock it on the head. Yeah. So here's also some green beans. I'll show you. There. It's only one or two, but yeah, better than nothing. Yeah, and these are winter mammoth or autumn mammoth, winter mammoth. Anyway, leeks. So I stuck them in, and they sulked a bit, and eventually now they have stood up. So I've got some out here, and I've also got some in the greenhouse. So I'm basically doing an experiment to see. I'm going to see how these fare in the winter, and then see. Come on, get forgotten. Come on. See how the ones in the greenhouse do. I can plant them out them out in the garden next spring. Right, so we've got some, as I say, casualty of war. I had the archway and the wind got it, so it's needs cutting back anyway. It's going to come out. And of course the second one, which I had at the gate here, well, that's already gone. You know, that's already gone. Right, so quite a few things to do. Only one pair of hands. Limited, well, just kills you otherwise. So here's my greenhouse. And you probably think, oh, there's a lot in there, like, but this is all the stuff that I've grown. I just haven't had the time to put in, you know. So other people's greenhouses are empty. And there's the two trumpet plants that there's a couple of trumpet plants that I bought at a discounter, and this year, and they're only little anyway, but they weren't so bad. And I put them in the greenhouse later on, and they just shot up, and they've just bloomed, you know. So anyway, so I've got my potatoes, although not very good. Just didn't work out. So go and buy shop bought Christmas potatoes. You stick them in, and you know, you follow all the guidelines that you see on YouTube and things like that. And nothing happens. And then when you turf the thing out, the potatoes are just completely gone. They've rotted off, you know. So here's a dwarf morning glory. Just put a little flower on in the greenhouse. Otherwise it wouldn't have done. Anyway, so I was keeping the temperatures up in the greenhouse, but I've also got new greenhouse heating as well. So I've got to do some rejigging anyway, and everything. So as you see, an awful lot to do. So I'm going to stop nattering now. Yes, about just before I go, about green side up, he's talking about biodiversity, and I must admit I agree that the garden now, for instance, strawberries. Strawberries produce flowers. The bees pollinate the flowers. So if you have vegetables, fruit and vegetables in the garden, and put some plants in as well, bring the bees, bring the insects into the garden, and they will pollinate the things that need to be pollinated. Naturally, you've got pests like cabbage white butterflies, but I found a nasturtium give them a home. So, but I honestly think that biodiversity is important, and as I say, you also get the enjoyment of flowers as well. You can also make a cut flower vase and take it home. So, really speaking, I've got two rows of lavender where I planted this year, and I must admit that I'm going to buy some more, right? But I must admit the amount of bees that came to this allotment in this first year, phenomenal. I mean, got loads of lavender heads that I can actually, you know, dry the heads and make small presents of lavender bags, you know. But it's just nice though, because I say you got so many varieties of bees and insects flying in, butterflies and everything. So you just brush past them. They're not bothered about whether you're walking past them or not. They're just concentrating on the flowers. But they come into your garden, and they also assist your garden with pollination. So think about it next year, where you could put some plants. Where can you put some flowers? Yeah, I mean, you could even find a corner, you can put a buddleia in, for instance. The butterflies love that. Just why not? Why not work with nature instead of against nature? Agreeably, there comes a time where you have to work against nature. It's just unfortunate. You either want something out of the garden or you don't. But you try the most natural method as much as possible, and also natural predators. If you make the environment, you get the natural predators in the garden, and like ladybirds, for instance, and they'll take care of things too. So they're your supporting act in the garden. So anyway, I've bimbled on enough. I'm going to leave you to it. I will catch up with you later on. Thank you for listening and watching Allotment Joy. It's good to have you. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you wish. I'm having fun with the allotment. Follow my journey. You're more than welcome to hear me ramble on about strawberries and chrysanthemums and things like that. So I'll say goodbye for just now, and thanks for watching. Bye.